Of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. You all may be seated, and we're going to begin today's sermon with a short video. Well, after seeing that video, I actually want to define my goal for us here today, which is to experience awe. Awe is defined by Oxford Languages as a feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear and wonder. A feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear and wonder. So whether it be from the information gleaned in that video or from our text today in John chapter 1 or something else, I hope that at some point today or later this week, all of us can feel awe at some point. So what might inspire awe for us today? It could be everything that we saw in that video clip, the sheer size and scope of the cosmos, how infinitely small we are in retrospect. Or, flip that, how infinitely small the workings of our own bodies are in retrospect. That there are things working on a level smaller than we can fathom just for our daily functions to occur. To eat, to drink, to breathe, to live. The size and scope of creation could indeed inspire awe this day. Or maybe it is the text that we heard as our gospel reading and its wild expansiveness that inspires awe for you. That Christ has been since the beginning. That Christ is indeed with God and is God. And because of that very fact, all things that come into being through Christ and his life, His light is the life that sustains all things. That could inspire awe today. Or even still, this final Sunday of the Christmas season, you might still be in awe from your celebrations. A time when many of us were, if we're lucky enough, able to slow down and spend time with family and friends. Maybe you're in awe at the sheer luck of being able to do just that. To spend time with family and with friends. To look other humans in the face and know that they and you are loved by one another. Or finally still, in this Christmas season, as I said, perhaps it is the birth story of Christ that still inspires some sense of awe. That God, in this wildly expansive and seemingly infinite cosmos, would also choose to be present and alive in the flesh of a baby born in a manger. Perhaps that inspires awe within you still. Whatever your reason to feel awe is, those feelings of awe seem to be rooted in the same thing, the one whom our Exodus text refers to, the great I am. Now in this text, in chapter 3 of Exodus, Moses is asking God how to name God when the people ask, and God responds, as you heard, say to them, I am who I am. Simple. Far simpler than we would probably like or would have chosen. The God who created all things in the cosmos, that infinite cosmos, both great and small, that we saw in the video, simply says, I am who I am. Doesn't seem like quite enough, especially in a world where we now introduce ourselves as the Reverend, or the Doctor, and the Certified, and the Qualified. And yet, I am who I am is everything. And Jesus follows suit often in the Gospel of John, responding many times to questioning of his own similarly, especially in chapter 8, verse 58, where he says, very truly I tell you, before Abraham was, I am. Jesus responds there in chapter 8 to questioning the same way God responds to Moses' questioning in Exodus 3. I am. And then our gospel text today encapsulates both of these I am statements. In the beginning, there was Christ, God, the I am. Now, there is Christ, God, the I am. And in the future, there will be Christ, God, the I am. Being has Christ as its source. Thus, the I am will always be. So what does this mean? And what does this have to do with awe? Well, God says I am. Jesus says I am. Thus, perhaps because of those two statements, because God is the I am and Jesus is the I am, we are. And life is. It seems that life is God, is Christ. Not like Christ, or metaphorically God, but is God. Now stay with me here. Richard Rohr says in his book, The Universal Christ, God comes to you disguised as your life. And at the beginning of his book, his dedication reads, I dedicate this book to my beloved 15-year-old black lab Venus, whom I had to release to God while beginning to write this book. Without any apology, or lightweight theology, or fear of heresy, I can appropriately say that Venus was also Christ for me. He doesn't say, like Christ for me. He says she was Christ. He seems to be getting at what we hear in Exodus 3 and in John 1. And this idea inspires great awe. At least it does for me. Because now God is not some far-off entity that we engage with on occasion, and something in our life isn't like God, but now all beings in my life and in your life are God. The Hebrew word translated to I am, or I am who I am, is what we commonly speak as Yahweh. But in Hebrew, this word is not spoken. The closest one can get to pronouncing it is by breathing. Your breath in and your breath out is that Hebrew word, is the I am. Your very breath, my very breath, the breath of the earth, the breath of the cosmos inhales and exhales the I am. The fabric of our being is God, is our Creator. That is what it seems Richard Rohr is getting at. That is what it seems the author of John is saying in their opening line. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And this is what Jesus seems to be implying whenever he responds in John, I am. That life is God. And hot dang, if that does not inspire just a little bit of awe and some confusion and probably some fear and shock and joy, then I don't know what will. In everything that we saw in that opening video, in everything perhaps that we've all seen this holiday season, from the grandiose of the cosmos and its secrets and its mysteries to a child in a manger in the middle of Israel 2,000 years ago, I am is. Jesus is. So this final Sunday of Christmas, may we rest in awe. Because in every breath we take, every breath our pets take, every breath that creation takes, every breath that the cosmos and the universe takes, the I am is. God is. Christ is. And we praise the I am for that good news. Amen.